reduction in state aid. And just at this point in time, we're being as aggressive as possible in trying to get other aid either through the state or federal government. But we need to be able to look forward a year or two and be able to project outward. So that's my concern, and that's why we tried. The town council did not use as much of our savings account for this coming fiscal year in anticipation might be needed to preserve those core services in fiscal year 2012.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do a budget when you don't know what's coming in and from where. Are the schools the same thing, Betty?
Well, I would echo what Peter has to say with respect to it's pretty dire looking long-term in the sense of if the state does not capture some kind of funding to offset the deficit that it faces. The Board of Education budget, we anticipate, would be impacted significantly if state education aid to the town is reduced. For example, the town currently receives approximately $13 million through two major grants. One is the Education Costs Savings Grant, and the other, Cost Sharing Grant, and the other is the Special Education Excess Grant. Combined, again, that's $13 million. If the state reduces those dollars, which it's anticipated to reduce for fiscal year 2012, then the town has no way to make up that loss. So either we need to reduce our budget or it goes on the backs of the taxpayers. And that's neither is a tenable situation. So it's really disturbing. You know, what we potentially face is the reduction of programs, which we have not faced for a long time in this district. We also, or the elimination of programs, clearly class size would rise, et cetera. I mean, it's hard to predict, but the truth of the matter is there are things over which we have no control. I mean, even this year, I'm going to back up to this year, part of the struggle for us getting to the 0%, the $1 million, is $500,000 was due to two things. One, increase in magnet school tuition, and we don't know what that's going to be like in 2012, $250,000, and increase in out-of-district special education tuition, $290,000. You know, the town gets some reimbursement for special education, but that money is supposed to be being reduced. So it's pretty grim if things remain as is with respect to the state budget projections.
Okay. In wrapping up, I'd like to give each of you an opportunity to address what you feel is most essential for the public to know about the budget being put forth on May 11th. Betty?
Sure. Just to go full circle back to the opening of this program, our primary concern in creating the budget was and continues to be the education of our students. We are so committed to sustaining a quality education for students kindergarten through 12th grade. The budget that we brought forth is very lean, certainly the lowest in my 8 years coming forth. But I can say to the public that it is maintaining the integrity of education. It ensures that those students who need interventions will receive their interventions. It ensures that arts, music, the gifted program, et cetera, are in place because we absolutely believe a well-rounded education is so important for children. And it allows for the expansion of 2 or 3 small programs that will impact on kids. Like I said, the after-school program, a special education program for high school students located at LP Wilson, and a little bit of technology. It was not easy to bring forth, and the hardest part is the sacrifice with respect to the positions and that impact on actual human beings in our organization that we know we are going to be laying off. That's the most challenging piece of it. But we felt we had an obligation to acknowledge the challenges of the town and to do what was right with respect to the declining enrollment and reduce where we could, and to bring forth the budget that we brought forth.
Thank you, Betty. Peter?
Thanks, Jane. Again, I can't underscore enough the leadership that the Board of Education as well as the school administration provided during this budget process. Certainly has allowed the town council to balance the ability and the willingness of our residents to be able to afford this budget going forward. And I'd like to take a step back a little bit and talk about the concept of community stewardship. And I think that's an important role for us to remember that that the town council and as well as administrators play. As I mentioned earlier, the decisions that we make today not only impact us tomorrow, but for many years to come. Mm-hmm. And we need to be aware of that as folks go to the polls in a week from now, to keep that in mind. It's not simply about the dollars and cents. It's about having a strong, competitive, and livable Windsor, and place that we can attract new residents, new businesses, as well as to help folks be able to stay here who've been here for many, many decades, and those who've recently come here. So we need to make sure that we're providing those core services. I think we're well positioned to continue to, if you will, weather this financial storm that the country's been in, and also that the state of Connecticut will be facing over the next year or two. I think we're well positioned to do that. I think we'll be able to continue to provide viable, safe neighborhoods, neighborhoods that folks want to live in, they want to reinvest in, that our business community is competitive. We have a great business community here that's made up of small family-owned businesses as well as Fortune 500 international renowned companies. And I think we can continue to, with appropriate reinvestment and as well as a balance in our financial stability, I think we'll be able to continue to be very attractive for many years to come. So again, I thank the League for hosting this once again, and hopefully the voters will come out and vote on May 11th.
Well, I want to thank you both for sharing information about the budget and helping us to understand it a little bit better. And I just want to say that we had a record number of 16,517 Windsor registered voters turned out for the last presidential election. It would be wonderful to have that kind of turnout again here for our local town budget referendum, because it affects so much of us on a daily basis in everything that we do. There are 7 polling places in Windsor that will be open on May 11th from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And you can find out your location of where to vote, or more detailed information on the budget and actually how it's going to affect you. There's a little calculator on the website by visiting the Town of Windsor website at www.townofwindsorct.com. Thank you very much all for joining us here today. Thank you.
Thanks, Jane.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.